Hello and welcome back. My name is Krysta French and today I'll be your yoga teacher. Today I'll be guiding you through a short heart-opening yoga practice, and I do recommend that you have 2 blocks and a strap for practice today. So we'll go ahead and get right to it. We'll start in a child's pose. So you can begin to sit back onto your heels, stretching your arms out in front of you. Allow your forehead to come down to the mat. You might roll it back and forth if that feels good, giving it a nice light massage. Just stretching out across the back side of the body. You can come up onto the pads of the fingers and then start to walk your hands all the way off to the right side. So just getting a little stretch across the left side of the body. So lengthening from the fingertip down through the hip. Nice big stretch there. And come back to center and then walk it off to the left side. So just stretching out across the body here. Coming back to center, staying up onto the pads of the fingers, just stretching through the spine. And then allow your hands to come down onto the ground. Start to shift forward, come onto your hands and knees, and take a few rounds of your cat-cow here. So inhale, the belly begins to fall, and then exhale, we're rounding through the spine. So inhale, belly drops, heart opens, and as you exhale, press the floor away, rounding through the upper back. So move at your own pace, and really try to link together breath with movement. So that is the definition of Vinyasa. So that linkage between breath and movement, really being in tune with the body. So you can start to move around here, maybe looking over your shoulder, letting the shoulder and hip connect a little bit, making that C formation with the spine, and then start to circle your body. So pressing back like you're coming through a child's pose, and then as you inhale, coming forward, opening through your chest, getting into the shoulders and the hips, and then switch the direction. So just making circles in the other way. Eventually just sink back, find a child's pose very briefly. Tuck the toes under, press back, find your first downward facing dog. So as you come into down dog here, start to pedal through the heels, maybe bicycle the legs, shift the weight through the hips. You can even pick up your feet and roll your ankles around. And allow your chest to keep pressing back toward the thighs. Eventually, finding some stillness here, the heels can drop a little bit deeper. Nice full breaths, big inhales, big exhales. At the bottom of your exhale, looking forward, taking a walk up to the front of your mat and just letting your body hang heavy. Find a rag doll here. So take opposite elbows and sway side to side. Eventually release your hands. Inhale to a flat back and exhale, soften your knees, fold into it. Inhale, arms stretch high, palms press. Hands come down through the heart and all the way down to the sides. From here, stand nice and tall into Tadasana. Inhale, reach up, palms press. Exhale, we're folding in half. Let it go. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back and lower the hands, step back, find a plank pose. Lower the knees, chest, and chin, and then scooping forward, opening to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. And keep in mind that this is your practice, so if you need a break, if you need a child's pose, at any time, feel free to take that. You can always pause this video and come back. So nice steady breaths in your downward facing dog. From here, look forward, step up to the front, find that flat back, and exhale, we're folding in half. Inhale, stretch your arms high, palms press up overhead, and hands come down through the heart and down to the sides. Inhale, reach high, palms press. Exhale to fold over, let it go. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back. Lower your hands, step it back to plank, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. So as you come into your down dog, notice where your gaze is. See if you can direct the gaze toward the midline of the body. So traditionally we look at our belly buttons, but often that's too intense on the neck. So if that is too intense, just look somewhere in between the knees or maybe in between your feet. Gaze comes forward, step or float up to the front, lengthen to your flat back, and exhale to fold over. Inhale, sweep your arms high, palms press, hands lower through the heart, and down to the sides. Inhale, reach up again, lengthen, and take a little baby back bend as you exhale and fold in half. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back, and hands down. Step the right foot back, drop the knee, untuck the toes, and you can take your hands at your thigh or reach all the way up and back. So opening through the collarbones, trying to wiggle the upper arm bones back, and then split your arms, take a goalpost arms, so cactus arms. Lower the hands down, tuck your back toes under, and then find a little twist. So right hand comes down, left arm is lifted. From here, lower that left hand, press back into plank, and then take your vinyasa. So again, you can always take it or leave it. This is your choice. Find your way back into your down dog. Steady the breath. Gaze comes forward, step or float up, lengthen flat back. Exhale, we're folding. Inhale, arms reach high, palms press, and hands come down through the heart and down to the sides. Inhale, reach up, lengthen, take that back bend. Exhale, we're folding in half. Inhale, flat back, and lower the hands, left foot steps back this time. Untuck the toes. Hands can come at your thigh or reach all the way up and back. And again, feel free to wiggle the upper arm bones behind the ears, or to open the chest even more, split your arms, work into those cactus arms, open your chest, and then lower the hands down. Back toes tuck under, and then work right into that twist. So reaching through the right arm, extending it all the way up, lower the hand, back into your plank, take your vinyasa. So nice, full, steady breath. As we arrive back in our down dog, maybe take a big cleansing breath here. You can sigh it out as you exhale. Pulling your shoulders away from the ears, and then look forward. Step or float up, lengthen flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up, palms press. Hands come down through the heart and all the way down to the sides. So from here, reach your left arm high, right hand comes down at the thigh, and then tip open to the right side. So think about a nice long line from the left fingertip to heel. Come back to center, switch your arms. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tip open to the left side this time. Big side body stretch. Back to center, both arms reach high, and then release the hands down to the low back. Inhale, lift the heart, tipping the chest open, tip the gaze back, press the hip bones forward, and then come back to center. Take the hands at the hips, inhale, lift the heart, exhale, fold. So if the feet are not inner hips width, walk them apart so they're about hips width, and then find your flat back and fold into it. So elbows are wide for Padangustasana. Crown of the head is reaching to the ground. Hips are nice and high. From here, release your hands, take them over the low back, interlace your fingers, and start to pull the hands away from the body. So getting a stretch in the shoulders. Feel free to bend the knees. Release the hands down. And find your flat back, lengthen. Lower the hands, step or float back. Take your vinyasa. So inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Lower the knees and come into a puppy pose. So walk your hands out in front of you. Allow your chest to come down so the hips are nice and high. They're over the knees. So it's like an extended child's pose. You continue to walk your heart and your arms forward to really feel that opening and broadening through the collarbones and the chest and the shoulders. Take a few breaths here. Eventually come back up into your table. Take a round or two of your cat-cow. And just opening up. Eventually we're setting up, coming into camel pose. So hips are over the knees, tuck the toes under, hands at the lower back. Inhale, begin to broaden through the collarbones as you lift the chest. Gaze tips on back, press the hips forward. So tipping back any amount that feels good. Slowly returning back to center. We're going to do that again. If you want to go deeper, maybe this time you release the hands. Press the hips forward, lift the heart, tip it on back. Maybe those hands walk back to the heels. Nice full inhales, full exhales. With control, come back up to neutral. We have one more round. If you want more, untuck the toes. This time the hands can lower all the way down to the soles of the feet, only if it feels good in your body. If it doesn't feel good, keep the hands at the low back. So tipping the gaze back, pressing those hips forward. And with control, we're coming back up. Take the hands at the heart, sit back on your heels, lower the hands at your thighs, close your eyes, take a few big breaths. And then coming down into child's pose. This time in our child's pose, release the hands down toward the heels. And the knees are together. So letting your body become a really small little ball. Begin to walk your hands forward and then press back, downward facing dog. Notice the openness in the shoulders here. Inhale, stretch your right leg high, open through the hip. Roll around the knee, hip, and ankle. If it feels good, flip your dog. Lift the hips, reach that right arm forward. Keep lifting through the chest. Slowly come back, three-legged dog. Lift the leg, and then shift it forward, knee to nose. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, knee comes to the right elbow. Kick it on back, and then this time, cross the body, step it through for fallen triangle. Hips lift as you stretch that left arm all the way open. Lower the left hand. Hug the knee and kick it long behind you. And then step it up. Find your high lunge. So the back heel stays lifted, reaching the arms all the way up. Soften across your shoulders. Get strong in the legs. Release the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Open through your chest. And then from here, finding a variation of our humble warrior. So heel stays lifted for this variation, but press through the feet, come all the way back up, stretch your arms high, and then hands at the heart. Shift into that right foot, hug the left knee up, transitioning into our tree pose. So once you find that steadiness in the legs, start to open your hips. Maybe your arms start to reach high. Maybe you take a different arm variation. Steady breath. Hug the left knee up and then step it back for your high lunge. Reach your arms high. Lower the hands. Step back for plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. How's the breath? From your dog, lift the left leg, open through the hips, roll around the knee, the hip, and the ankle, and then flip your dog if it feels good. Reaching that left arm forward, opening the chest, slowly come back for three-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Kick it back. And then knee comes to the right elbow, cross it through, finding fallen triangle, lifting the hips, reaching that arm open. Keep opening up the whole torso. Lower the right hand, hug the knee back in, kick it long behind you. And then step it up, finding our high lunge. Inhale, the arms sweep high. Soften through the shoulders, get strong in the legs. Big breath in. Exhale, hands meet behind you, interlace the fingers, lift the heart, and then humble warrior variation. So again, the shoulder can rest over the thigh or fall on the inside of it. The head stays heavy. Root down to rise all the way back up. Inhale, the arms lift. Steady the gaze, shift into that left leg. Peel the right foot up, finding tree pose, Vrikshasana. So really steadying that drishti. Hug the right knee up, step it behind you. High lunge again. Maybe open the chest a little bit more. Lower the hands. Step back for chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, find your way down into child's pose once again. From that child's pose, we're going to work right into our Gomukhasana, cow-facing pose. So right knee comes forward, left knee is behind it. We're sitting back on our hips. So if you're confused about that, the right knee is on top, left knee is underneath, and we're just crossing the knees. Grab a strap and take it across the right shoulder. Inhale the right arm high, lower the hand behind your back. Lift the left arm as you press the elbow down. So stretching across the tricep, just getting a little bit of movement. Release that hand and then slide it up the back. Grab hold of your strap and start to walk your hands a little bit closer toward each other. So if at any point your knees or your hips feel like they're in a position that's a little bit too intense, you can uncross and just come into your regular Sukhasana with the legs crossed. So stay with the breath here. Keep opening through your chest. And then release the hands. Release the strap. Grab hold of your ankles and fold over the legs. So you're going to feel the stretch more in the hips and the IT band and the glutes. Slowly lift back up. From here, walk your hands forward, tuck the toes under, lift the hips, and then walk your hands all the way over to the left side. Keep walking, and then we're going to come around, finding our Gomukhasana on the opposite side. So you should be in position with the right knee underneath, the left knee on top. From here, grab your strap, take it across the left shoulder. Left hand lifts as you drop the hand behind you, grabbing the strap. Right arm reaches up. Press down on the elbow very gently, just encouraging some movement. From here, release that right hand, slide the hand back or up your back, grab hold of the strap, walk the hands closer toward one another. So our cow-facing pose is a really nice stretch in the hips and in the shoulders. Steady breath. Release what you have with your hands. Take the hands at your ankles. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold over the legs any amount. Slowly lift back up. Uncross the legs, shake them out. And then cross the shins once again. Lower the hands in front of you. Press back, downward facing dog. Nice steady breath. So we're going to continue opening through the chest here. Come back down onto your knees. Sit back on your heels. Grab your blocks. So take them in front of you, just a little bit wider than shoulder width, just a tiny, tiny bit. So they're going to be resting on the medium height. And we're going to come down, placing the elbows to the center of the blocks. From here, walk the knees back slightly. Allow your chest and your forehead to come down. The palms can press together as you press your thumbs back toward the back of the neck. If that's not intense enough for you, if you want more, maybe the forehead is on the ground, come back up and move the blocks to the higher height and do it again. If it's too intense, you can drop the blocks down to the lower setting. If that's still too intense, just remove the blocks completely and try it on the on the mat. So nice steady breath here. Keep breathing. Allowing the chest to sink down. From here, slowly we're coming back up. Very carefully remove the blocks, place them off to the side, and then take the hands forward and lower all the way down to the ground. So belly down, let your body get heavy for a moment. And then come onto the fingertips, walk them down by the ribs, start to lengthen lengthen the legs as you point your toes, and then come up onto the fingers, open through the chest, roll the heart open. So lifting, and then slowly roll back down. Place the palms flat on the ground next to the low ribs. Inhale, lift all the way up, maybe into your upward facing dog as you lift the thighs, maybe not. Slowly roll back down. Lengthen the legs out one more time. Let the hands come down by the hips, finding locust pose. So arms lift, legs lift, chest lifts. Breathe here. Steady breath. Feeling that strength start to build in the spine, and then slowly lower back down. From here, bend the knees, swish the feet left and right. So you can choose to do that pose again, that locust pose, or to go deeper. Bend the knees, catch your feet, take the knees toward one another, and then slowly press the feet into the hands. So lifting through the chest, lifting the collarbones, lifting the thighs off the ground. Breathe here. A lot of effort happens in our bow pulling pose. Steady breath. With control, lower back down. Release the legs so you can swish the feet back and forth again, and then let them find some stillness. Let your body get heavy for a moment. And then slowly, one more time, we're coming up into cobra or upward facing dog, and then pressing back, child's pose. Downward facing dog is where we're meeting. Take your time, take a few big breaths. And then inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, shift it through, land in your half pigeon pose. So the knee and the shin come down, back leg lengthens. Inhale, heart opens up, and then exhale, walk yourself on down. So maybe the forehead is resting on the hands, maybe on the block or the ground. So really feeling that stretch through the IT band. Getting into the hips and into the glute. Slowly, when you're ready, come back up. Lift the heart again, come up onto the fingers, open the chest, and then place the hands down, tuck your left toes under, sweep the right leg high behind you, and just roll around the knee, the hip, and the ankle. Gently place the foot down, inhale, left leg lifts, and then shift it through, land in that half pigeon again. We're walking up onto the fingers, lifting the heart, opening the chest. And then as you're ready, you can slowly come back down. The forehead can find its way onto your backs of your hands or maybe your blocks. Nice steady breath here. And then gently coming back up, stretching through the heart, lifting. And And then as you're ready, hands come down, right toes tuck under. We're stretching the left leg behind, rolling around the knee, the hip, and the ankle, and coming back down, downward facing dog. From here, gaze comes forward. You can step or float the feet through, coming down onto our sits bones, stretch the legs out, shake them out, and then take the hands behind you, shoulder width, feet are down shoulder width, and then lift the hips up, tip the gaze back. So reverse table pose. Breathe here, steady breath. You should really feel that opening through the chest. Keep grounding through the feet and the palms. And then with control, lower the hips, stretch the legs out. Inhale, the arms lift. Exhale, fold over the legs. Paschimottanasana, so our seated forward fold. So just sealing everything in. Slowly come back up. Inhale, the arms lengthen. And then from here, find a twist. So the right foot hooks over the left thigh. You can bend the left knee if you'd like. Inhale, the left arm high. And then twist off to the right side. So that right hand is behind you. Lengthen as you inhale. And exhale, work to deepen the posture just ever so slightly. And then take the gaze back to center, untwist, and start to uncross the legs. Give them a little shake. This time, left leg comes across the thigh, right knee starts to bend. Lower the left hand behind you, right arm stretches. Take your twist off to the left side. Inhale, begin to lengthen. And then exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Slowly start to untwist, unwind, come back up, uncross your legs, give them a little shake. And then from here, we're going to grab our blocks, working into our supported fish pose. So a really nice heart opening posture. You're going to take that first block under the shoulder blades at the lowest setting, horizontal. And then the second block is underneath the occipital ridge, that bony ridge that kind of pops out against the back of your skull. That's going to be on the medium height of the block. So the shoulders and the head should feel supported here. And then you can just extend the legs long, let your hands drop down next to the hips, palms flip up. So having a nice subtle tuck of the shoulder blades underneath the body, facilitating more of an opening through the chest. Full steady inhales and full steady exhales. And then if you want to go a little bit deeper, right, you can move that block that's under your head onto the lower setting. That's just going to take you down a notch. So you can always experiment with this. If you want an even deeper opening, you can move the block that's underneath your shoulders to a higher height and keep the block that's under your head on a lower height. So a lot of options. If you want to follow along with what I'm doing, I just removed the block that's under my head. So I just have that block under the shoulders. So allowing the heart to open even more. So this is a really wonderful restorative pose to do if you have time for it every day. And then we'll slowly come back up. Just remove that block so both blocks are out. You can give the knees a really good hug, squeeze it out, rock side to side, massaging the low back. And then come into a happy baby. So the hands come around the feet, pressing the knees nice and wide, opening through the hips. And then let your knees drop off to the right side. And gaze falls to the left. If it feels good, you can cross your knees or extend a leg here. From here, the knees come back to center. Let them fall off to the left side. Gaze drops to the right. Nice little twist in the spine. Very gentle. And then the knees can come back to center. Give them a nice big hug. Rock a little bit left and right. Massage the low back and sacrum. And then from here, we're working into our Supta Baddha Konasana. So the feet are going to come together, the knees apart, and you may want some blocks underneath the knees. You might not. And place one hand over the heart, the other on top of the belly. So just letting the heart open, letting the hips open, and allowing your body to get heavy. Start to steady the breath. From here, we're going to remove those blocks if you have them and work right down into Shavasana. So just extending the legs, letting the hands rest down by the hips, and just finding some heaviness in the body. So our quote today comes from John Kabat-Zinn. And he wrote the book, Wherever You Go, There You Are. It's a really wonderful book on meditation. And he says, so in meditation practice, the best way to get somewhere is to let go of trying to get anywhere at all. From here, begin to send some movement and some life back into your body. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe stretch your arms up overhead. Take a big stretch. And then you can bend your knees, hug them into your chest as you roll off to either side. And then eventually press yourself up. Find a comfortable, easy seat. And then inhale, both arms stretch out to the side, palms press, and let the hands lower down at the heart. Take a moment just to notice your body, notice your mind, notice any shifts or changes from when you first stepped onto your mat, and just begin to thank yourself for choosing to practice. And thank you all so much for sharing your own practice with me. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this yoga video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel so you'll never miss a free yoga class. I'll see you soon on the mat. Have a wonderful day.